I am a video editor and also a YouTuber with years of experience in video editing and also in teaching people how to edit stuff using Alight Motion. Here are some tips that I would give to you. Yes, you little beginner, so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Editing straight ahead versus editing in steps. In animation, there is a term that they use called straight ahead and pose to pose. Straight ahead animation is basically you drawing frame by frame from start to finish. Pose to pose is where you draw the key poses of your animation first to see the outline of the animation as well as how it looks, before adding the in-betweens later. I like to use this term in editing as well. I call it editing straight ahead and editing in steps. When you're editing straight ahead, let's say you add a new clip, and then you add the transitions and effects straight away, and then moving on by adding a new clip and doing the same thing over and over and over again. Whereas when you're editing in steps, you add all the clips first to see the flow and the basic outline of the video. Then you'll add the effects, transitions, and details. Which one is better? Well, it depends. Some people think editing straight ahead is easier and better and prefers that way, while others prefer to edit in steps and think that it's way more easier and organized. Feel free to experiment and try these two ways of editing and then let me know which one suits you best. Doesn't matter what device or software that you use, just give it a try. Split your video into 2 or more. When editing in projects that are, let's say, an hour long, or a project that has a kajillion of effects, it puts a lot of stress on your device. And when that happens, you're gonna come into some difficulties while editing. You may not be able to preview your clip smoothly, your device won't be able to export your clip, and your device lags while editing, just to name a few. And if you're editing in Alight Motion, there's a high chance that you've come across this at least once while you're exporting your video. Insufficient GPU RAM, blah 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 blah. This basically means that your device is a potato and it can't handle the amount of effects, layers, or video length that you're editing in. Doesn't matter what device you're using, PC, Android, iOS, doesn't matter what software you're editing in. If your device is a low spec and it's terrible, there will be a point where your device just won't be able to handle the stress that you're putting on, and it will ultimately fail. To overcome this, simply just split your video into 2 little sections or more. Copy one section, create a new project file, paste that section, edit that section, do that for the rest of your clips, and finally, once you're done, upload it all into one project file and export. Boom. Or, if you don't want to do all that, you can just get yourself a high-spec device, although that will require you to spend a teensy bit more money. And it's really not that expensive. Don't edit into high resolution. Yes, editing in high resolution looks amazing. The video plays smoother like butter and it looks much more satisfying. But the higher the resolution that you're editing in, the more stress that you're gonna be putting on your device. And as we've discussed earlier, the more you'll have to split your video, the more clips you'll have to edit, and the more you'll have to do this and do that and
I am a video editor and also
it's very unnecessary. Instead, what you could do is edit in lower resolution, but not too low, like 720p or 1080p. 1440p is like max. Don't try to edit in 4K unless if your potato device could handle it. This is my advice for people that are editing with potato devices. And also, there's not really a lot of difference between editing in 720, 1080, 1440p and 4K anyways. And besides, most people on YouTube generally watch videos in 1080p, and most people generally do not care if your videos are 4K. Just don't make it too low of a resolution so it doesn't suck. However, unless if you're making memes, then yes, by all means, use lower resolution. Have presets. Guys, please use presets. This is something that I didn't do before and only started doing recently, and it saved me a ton of time while editing. I love your presets, thank you very much for your existence, you're a lifesaver. Ever used that one effect one too many times and now you're just tired of doing it again and again? Well, presets are here to help. Presets are great. You can create your own or use other people's presets as well, but just remember to give them credits. Or not, I don't really care. Just thank the people that made them. So there's a few ways that you can store your presets. What I did is I would say finish editing a video for a project. I would export that project file and post it on my private Telegram channel so that I wouldn't lose all of my projects. And if I wanted to add some of the graphics or effects from that project, I could just copy and paste it into my current edit. This can be done through QR codes or XML files, whichever suits you best. One other way is you could just make a project file dedicated for presets, but make sure to have a backup of it though, just in case if you accidentally delete that project file. Definitely not talking from experience. Another way that you could do is send your project files through WhatsApp to your friends and family and have them feel annoyed by you. Or you could post your presets on Instagram and other social media platforms and annoy your friends and family there instead. The choice is yours. Tell me which sounds better. You having to do the same effects over and over again, or just copy and paste it using the presets that you've downloaded or made. That's a trick question. The obvious answer to that is to ask Satan for
smooth and amazing edits.
This saves a lot of time and effort, and you will be thankful to yourself for making these presets. It just really helps you a lot down the line, trust me. Learn the buttons. This is extremely important. You gotta know what these buttons do, and to do that, you have to experiment. This is crucial for your editing efficiency. If you don't know what the buttons do, you won't be able to edit as efficiently as you want, and you won't even be able to navigate through the app. What I would recommend you doing is you start by creating a new project file, and just go crazy with it. But seriously though, it really helps to learn the buttons, and it will significantly increase your editing speed and efficiency. Remake other people's edits. A lot of people would think that remaking someone else's edits is bad because it's unoriginal and you don't get anything from doing it and stuff. I would disagree. Actually, you learn the most when you remake other people's edits. You learn more about the effects, you learn more about the app, what this does, what that does, how does this move, why is this smooth. You can learn a significant amount if you remake other people's edits. And I used to try remaking other YouTubers' editing style, and it helped me learn a lot about editing. And I even applied what I learned into making this video. And you could even try copying the style of this video as well. I'll leave down the link to my voiceover down below, and you can try to edit this video in your style or by copying my style. I can't wait to see what you've made. Use overlays. Overlays are one of the best things that you can have in your edits. Just like presets saves you time, overlays makes your edits look cooler, makes it look professional even if you're not, and it even adds detail to your edits. It's really amazing, and you can find these anywhere. There's Instagram pages dedicated to overlays, YouTube channels that post videos about overlays. There's really a lot of these on the internet. Overlays can make your edits go from a 3 all the way to a 10. That's how good it is. You need overlays. Trust. Don't just use one video editing app. I know my channel is mainly focused on Lightmotion specifically, but sometimes I would still use other video editing apps to make my videos as well. Just like how I don't just use one video editing app, you should not limit yourself to just one too. Sometimes it's a good idea to learn other video editing apps and use them to your advantage. Lightmotion, although powerful and filled with lots of tools, is still not perfect and have its own limitations. For example, CapCut can mask things out really easily, whereas in the Lightmotion, you have to do it manually. And if you've tried it, it is a very time-consuming and tedious process. There is no one best video editing app out there. Yet, there is only different apps for different users, and we should try to learn to use them instead of focusing on just one. Use graphs. This is important. It could literally make or break your edit. You can make the most epic transition, animation, effects, whatever, but if you're not using the right graphs, your edits will inevitably look terrible. Trust. Which is why learning how to use graphs is one of the most important thing an editor should learn, and it's something that every editor must learn. But fear not, my students, for Master Motion is here to teach you everything that you need to know about editing, and I've made a video about graphs just for you. Go check it out next if you want to learn how to use them.